Hello, friends. Welcome to Amresh Misra Speaks. Today, we will be taking up the third section, which is about film reviews. And we are going to discuss a prominent film, RRR. You know how Rajamouli is now today a brand, after Bahubali, the kind of films he makes. He has sort of, almost he's India's answer to Spider-Man or Batman or those kind of superhero films. But the interesting part is that in RRR, this aspect was there in Bahubali as well. But Bahubali, obviously, it was inspired more by Indian mythology, right? But here, if you see RRR, it takes two real life historical characters, Allaru Masita Raju and Bhimrao. Both these characters were freedom fighters. They existed in different timelines. Uh, Allaru was part of the Rampa rebellion between 1920 and 24, rebellion of the Gonds against British Raj, and Bhima Rao was part of the uprising against the Nizam of Hyderabad in 1940. Rajamouli has reimagined the whole scenario with both these characters existing in an undefined timeline, but which is early 20th century, and both of them are kind of involved in pursuits which are not documentary like and which strike straight at the heart. So you have a scenario where the Rampa rebellion is shown as a search for a lost tribal girl who has been literally, abducted at gunpoint by the British. And so, and Bhima Rao, his rebellion is shown as he has infiltrated the British machinery. He's a police officer, and he is working hard, even sometimes going against some aspects of the Indian freedom movement, and because his goal is to rise in the ranks and to become the in charge of the British Army, because his father had died fighting the British, and his father's dream was to arm each and every Indian to fight the British. So both these characters, they are involved in several twists and turns. Both become friends, then they fall out. Then because their goal is such that one character starts persecuting the other character till a pre-climax point where both realize that their goals are similar, and those goals can be met by actually helping each other. So this is like an epic statement. I mean, this is the difference between a documentary and a very interesting historical film. A documentary places certain facts before you. Many documentaries are riveting, especially war documentaries, which are made on famous wars. And the thrill of watching a good documentary cannot be replicated by, say, a fictional interpretation. At the same time, the kind of primordial emotions which a creative interpretation catches, a documentary cannot capture that. And this is the main difference, because you see, freedom struggle, if you want to see in more of academic or intellectual or even emotionally gratified, because intellect itself is an emotion. So even in an emotional sense, if you want it to appeal, if you want to understand the cerebral aspects and the emotional aspects and the value-oriented, emphasis of the freedom fighters, you watch documentaries. At the same time, if you want that kind of a surge, the kind of surge which freedom fighters must have felt at some point in history, that surge is, then you have to create larger than life characters. More importantly, you have to create larger than life emotions. And this is what actually the revolutionary Soviet filmmaker Sergei Eisenstein he did in his film Battleship Potemkin, which was released in 1925, and which is considered a classic because his montage techniques, the way he built up emotions, because that was the silent era, there were no dialogues, and yet Battleship Potemkin is about an uprising against the Russian Tsar, which took place in 1905. It is again based on an actual event, but Eisenstein doesn't make a documentary. He departs from kind of interpreting the events of 1905, the rebellion aboard Battleship Potemkin against the Tsarist forces in a new way. He shows the characters who were involved, their gestures, their attitude, their the way they felt when a worker is humiliated and when he is served food which is contaminated and which is crawling with ants. Those kind of emotions are brought out. The whole attitude of the upper class in the navy, and their sarcastic, come cruel look, that also comes through. And these all these sequences are intercut in a very, very innovative manner. There is a scene in Battleship Potemkin where there's firing. The Tsarist police fires on protesters, and there is a child. A woman is carrying a child inside. One of those baby pushers, and the baby pusher slips out from her hands, and it falls, on the stairs. And Eisenstein has pictured each and every step literally of how it is falling, and through furious and speedy cuts. And in the same manner, if you see RRR, it actually captures the action. It actually captures those moments. It kind of almost freezes the moments, like when a man is picking up a gun to shoot at a British officer, when two men are rescuing a child, who was most likely to be drowned. All these emotions, all these moments are captured in let's say in their inertness as well as in their speed. This kind of a combination of opposites, मतलब ये जो पूरा जो एक तरीका है कि मतलब अगर हम उसको हिंदी में कहें तो जो एक उसने कंबाइन किया है, जो ऑपोजिट्स को, विरोधी तत्वों को जो कंबाइन किया है, कि एक तरफ इनर्शिया, एक तरफ स्पीड, और उसको कंबाइन करके जो, और एक तरफ क्रुएल्टी, एक तरफ दया, ममता, एंड सो that way he has in RRR you can see that the play is not just about the montage is not just about jump cuts or like cerebral kind of editing. It is more of clashing emotion with emotion, ideas with emotion, situations with emotion, and so what emerges is a grand saga of the freedom struggle. It makes you part of the event, the kind of impact it leaves about the characters and the film. It is very different from, say, a Kashmir Files, because Kashmir Files is the opposite of what RRR does. RRR is a secular film. It shows the role of Muslims also in the freedom struggle. Kashmir Files demonizes Muslims. And if you see the difference in techniques between the two films, you will find that while RRR sticks to the Eisenstein formula, Kashmir Files takes that formula and manipulates it to include speeches, to become preachy, and those speeches and those preachy parts are part of a right-wing ideology. So if you see Kashmir Files, its success, it also owes a lot to Sajai Eisenstein, who was a leftist, who was a communist. It and RRR also owes a lot to Sajai Eisenstein. But while RRR, you know, interprets Eisenstein in a very Indian manner, in a very it's almost like a Salim Javed script, a larger than life Salim Javed script, which RRR creates for you, because there you know in a the distinguishing part of a Salim Javed script was the way not just the underdog hero, but the way action was interwoven in the script as part of human emotions and as part of the drama. That is action, the role of action, the of dramatic action, of violence, all those things. The way Salim Javed script rewrote the rules of script writing, and you can see that Rajamouli has taken those aspects, and he has taken and given it a wholly new and a grand 21st century scale. Kashmir Files also kind of does this, and the way it has been able to attract a certain section is because of those kind of Eisensteinian techniques. But then his craft is manipulative. Vivek Agnihotri, who has made Kashmir Files, his craft is manipulative. It just presents a certain view of a conflict. It villainizes the other, and it is above all, it is not entertaining. It is kind of almost it takes you to the point of brainwashing, which is the worst part of Kashmir Files. So here we have a film RRR, which is, as I said, not just entertaining but educative, and which is also which takes you deep inside the kind of grand feelings that must have been there in the hearts of the freedom fighters. And on the other hand, you have a Kashmir Files, which actually manipulates and literally brainwashes you. Thank you so much.